I'm about to show you 50 insane use cases for Google's new NanoBanana Pro model that will completely change how you work. In less than 20 minutes, you'll see how this model can help you in more ways that you could imagine. From sales and marketing to image editing and repurposing, and then productivity analysis. No theory at all, just pure practice. To use NanoBanana Pro, let's open Gemini, and first thing, let's make sure that in the section Tools, the option Create Image is turned on. And let's start with our first use case. I'm gonna take a screenshot which I prepared of my own website, and I'm gonna paste it here. I'm instructing the model to act as a senior conversion rate optimization specialist, and I'm telling them identify and red mark 3 layout and general improvements that could improve conversion rate. So I'm telling what he has to do based on what information. I'm not gonna drive you through the entire section of the prompt because we're going through 50 of them, but all of the prompts are included in the description of this video. After a couple seconds, we have our first result. We see that he performed a heat map analyzing where the attention will fall, and he has suggested 3 improvements. For example, this improvement is reduce perceived effort in the CTA. These are great sales opener. You can generate a photorealistic selfie of yourself, Times Square in front of a billboard that has the name of a brand you're trying to work with and a sentence which is specifically interesting for them. In this case, I'm trying to work with this brand, which is Relay, and I inserted a picture of myself to generate the selfie. And I want on the billboard ready to dominate AI agents, and I'm gonna use it to try and start a conversation with them when I send a cold email or a message. And this is the results. Actually very funny, it looks much like me. The logo is the one we requested, and ready to dominate AI agents. Very cool. If you are trying to get a response from someone, another great way is to send them a personalized meme. So in this case, I'm telling you, compose a light-hearted meme image relevant to the prospect industry. For example, distracted boyfriend meme, then I'm telling you the industry is the CRM industry. Our product, in this case, let's suppose we are a CRM product like Attio, and the current solution the prospect want to respond to is Salesforce. And we see that the result is pretty funny and pretty accurate. Very cool. These prompts allow businesses to steal their competitor marketing strategy and duplicate it for their own products. So for example, I'm telling here I uploaded an image of an ads which I liked from a competitor. I just found it on Instagram, and I'm telling you analyze this advertisement screenshot, deconstruct into the following components: target audience persona, visual hook, value proposition, replication strategy, and then replicate it for our product, which in this case I just select a product from the internet, which is a competitor, Vitraluz Estilo Moderno by this brand called by Astroclaro. And what NanoBanana did is analyzed target audience persona, visual hook, value proposition, and turn me an ad, which is basically using the same exact strategy. Modern Glass Luxury, this is the product which we selected, this is the same discount, you can also tell him to change, and it's actually very, very nice image I would use for an ad. So we attached an image of the physical shelves of this supermarket, and we said analyze this photo of retail shelf display, perform a visual SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunity threats, attach a response, also a visual analysis with red mark to the analyzed photo. And we see here, this is the SWOT analysis, the strength, good lighting, another strength, a strong color block and positioning, an opportunity, negative space for signage, weakness, clutter, and less appealing for this lower part. Create a striking photorealistic 3D infographic illustration for LinkedIn, a massive translucent iceberg, the visible 10% tip above the waterline says chatbots, and the submerged 90 reveals a colossal multi-layer structure with realistic texture. So basically I'm explaining a concept and I'll give me a cool infographics, and then I'm explaining the style of the infographics, and the result is actually very cool. So the 10% which we see, the evolution of AI adoption is just chatbot, and the remaining 90% there's a lot of more interesting stuff about AI. Very cool as a visual for LinkedIn. So text review can be manipulated, but facial expression in social media posts are often much more authentic. So I went to Instagram and took 3 pictures in which this brand Obsessive Smiles was tagged, and I basically asked analyze the facial expression and body language of these people in the 3 uploaded photos using Obsessive Smile, which is the name of this product, and then rate genuine joy satisfaction on a scale from 1 to 10, identify distinctive environment when the product is being used, and the marketing angle. So based on this visual, also suggest new tagline that capture the actual vibe of the users. So here I see the response has the analysis for each of the 3 subjects. Subject 1, 8 out of 10, subject 3, 9 out of 10. The subject showed the highest energy, her wide thoughty smile and wide eyes conveying genuine excitement. And then a recommendation for a suggested tagline, obsessive, your daily glow up and filter. Actually very cool. for those who often sponsor in-person event, this can literally save thousands. We're telling design a photorealistic 3D rendering of 20 feet by 20 feet trade show booth for a software company, and then I'm giving it the full detail based on what the conference has communicated to me. So I'm telling what type of design I want and what type of furniture I want inside. So let's check it. It's actually very cool. Here is the logo of Relay App, which I told him to put on this, and then it has all of the furniture which I defined. So the couches, the desks, the screens, and also description with arrows and infographics of what is what and how big it is. We can also turn any text-heavy post into a light-hearted comic strip. In this case, I'm making a Python joke and I'm telling what I want in each panel based on what I had in my post, and we can see the results. I tried to code an AI, but I forgot the semicolon. The code broke, I cried. Then I realized I was coding in Python. This is only funny for someone who knows Python. Let's see if this logo I attach will pass the visibility test. So I'm telling you, generate a version of this logo as if it's seen through a rainy car window, apply motion blur, low contrast, and rain droplets, and assess if the name is still readable, and also give me a grade, which is pass or fail. And we see the results is actually pretty cool. It's a pass. The Relay App logo, which we have here, it's legible even under this condition. One more time, you can find in the description of this video all of the prompts which I'm using and describing, plus a prompting guide. I wanted to make this video 100% practical, so I didn't include any theory, but let me know if you'd like to see more theory in the next video. I attach this pixel picture and then I said recover unusable asset from tiny pixelated thumbnail. I'm telling you the resolution which I want, I'm telling you the focus which I want, I'm telling you the constraint, and the results is actually pretty incredible. And the texture is also very nice. In this case, I uploaded an old picture of my family and I'm telling you restore this damaged black and white photograph. I'm describing what I want NanoBanana to repair, and I'm telling you what color style I want on the picture. So from this picture, you see a much more modern and restored version of the same picture without any damage which my original had. Very cool. More on the funny and cute side, let's transform the couple in this photo, which is actually me and my girlfriend, into their child version. Keep their facial figures and basically everything as it is. Output should look like a cute childhood photo of the same couple. And the result is actually pretty fun, and this kinds of look like me when I was a kid. Let's mix style, a photo of an everyday scene at a busy cafe serving breakfast. In the foreground is an anime man with blue hair. One of the people is a pencil sketch, another is a claymation person. So basically we're mixing different styles in a realistic picture. So this is an actual cafe with real people, and here we can see the anime and the pencil sketch, for example. I'm now taking a cut picture like this one of me as a kid, which I always hoped it had also my feet included. And I'm telling you, take this photo of a person, body without feet, zoom in, and I'm telling you the aspect which I want, and I'm telling you I want to include the full body in the picture. And here's the result. I can finally have the full picture in the format I want with my entire body on it, and the sun as much in my actual vibe check. Let's now take a picture of myself and place the same person, in this case me, at a 1920 Great Gatsby party scene. Attire wearing a tuxedo and flapper dress. So I can put any subject whenever I want, basically. And this is the result. It keeps the same facial expression. You can also change it, but I find it. We can also change the weathering in the picture, super useful for real estate, for example. I'm telling you, literally change the mode of the real estate from gloomy rainy to sunny afternoon instantly. And this is the same picture, but in a sunny afternoon. Very cool. Actually, the definition is higher here. Taking a picture of my shoes in a messy background. Yes, I have a gigantic foot. Isolate the sneaker in this picture. New background, place the sneaker on a wet asphalt street in Tokyo at night, light in neon red. Let's see. Bam! Same shoes with even the same dirt. You can also clean it if you want, if you ask NanoBanana, but wow, super cool vibe for a product picture. Taking the same picture we saw before of me as a baby, basically asking NanoBanana to change the lighting to simulate the golden hour. I'm sure the influencer here will really love this one. See, same picture, but in a golden hour. Wow. A super cool use case for advertising. I can describe a scene with motion and food, and it will return me the exact thing. So I'm asking for a tonkatsu ramen. You can substitute with pizza, for example, and then I'm telling you I want something above it midair, for example, basil leaf, and then you can ask for a high resolution photo manipulation with dramatic lighting. And you can see here the results. Actually super cool. This will make a great advertisement. Getting back into more business context, I gave here the interface of a mobile banking app, and I'm telling you provide an objective heuristic-based audit of this app interface. I want to identify violation of needs and usability heuristic. I want to analyze the color contrast. I want to critique the hierarchy of the text and the transaction amount. And let's see, the results is an analysis in text, and then it should also give us the changes to make with the code it should be changed. In this case, we didn't ask for an image output, but it only analyzed an existing image. If you create content on YouTube, you can change and edit any thumbnail which you have already created, but you can also apply it, for example, for ads. And you can start from an image, in this case, a thumbnail which I used in the past, which says qualified leads. And then I'm telling you, change the text in the thumbnail to say, generate unlimited prospects with AI instead of qualified leads, and keep everything else the same. So it generated the same exact thing, same exact vibe, but with prospects instead of qualified leads. And then I can also say, change the person in the image with this other female person attached and keep everything exactly the same. And one more time, the results, the same thing, but with the female subject. Not only we can use NanoBanana to design any logo we want, in this case a minimalistic logo for a premium coffee brand, and we want an abstract fox as logo, but we can also ask it to apply it on any object by respecting the texture and the light, all in one single prompt. So in this case, we asked for a bag of coffee with this logo which we described, and we can see the results is pretty incredible with the lights and texture being completely respected. In this case, we are asking to generate the cover of a magazine and to put a specific person on the cover of that specific magazine. In front of the text, there is a dynamic portrait of a person in green and banana yellow color, high-end fashion. And here you can see the results. NanoBanana Pro, which is the text we ask, and the person. You can substitute this person with yourself, for example, which I think is super cool. You can be on Forbes if you want. You can take a screenshot from any movie, any slide deck, and you can ask him to analyze and extract the color palette, the fonts, and the style in general to then create design based on that specific style. So I took a picture, a scene from Avatar. The first thing it does is he gives me the color palette with the exact hex colors, and this is the text response, but it also does a simple mock-up of a slide using this specific style, which is the exact one we were looking for. Happened to me 1,000 times to have to work on a specific presentation but don't have an icon set, a set of icons which I can use. In this case, you can design any icons which you want. I'm telling you, design a water bottle, a dumbbell, a running shoe, a heart rate, and you can ask for anything you want and to keep them consistent with the specific style you want. The result is actually really cool. It's a style I was going for, and then you can bring them on Canva, Figma, and apply them directly to any presentation which you want. You can also draw the sketch of a web page on a piece of paper and then come here and tell them to turn it in loyal mockup of this specific website homepage. So I'm telling it turn into a high fidelity photorealistic UI mockup. I'm telling it the theme which I want, dark mode, and I'm also telling it where I draw the X on these 3 boxes, place a high quality stock photo, and where I scribble lines, put realistic lorem ipsum text, right? So let's see if it performs correctly. And the result is exactly correct. Where I had a X, I have a high quality stock photo, and where I sketch the lines, I have the lorem ipsum text. I love this one. You can generate any texture. So I'm telling you, generates a similar tiling texture of alien organic metal, and then I give you the description, biomechanical surface, iridescent purple, and the result is the exact texture I was going for. Again, you can import it in Gamma Figma and make this a background or the texture for anything you want. You can visualize 4 different branding directions for any product in the packaging with one single prompt. I'm telling you generate 4 variation of label design for a brand called Jungle Mist, and I'm telling you what I want in the variations. One is more luxury, one is more illustrated. And here it created 4 different options, completely different style for the same product. For example, I would definitely go for this Jungle Mist, but you can pick the one that you prefer. This one is for the YouTuber and the video maker. Create a cinematic storyboard sequence, in this case 3 frames, but you can have also 10 or 15 frames. And I want in shot number 1, an astronaut with tally silhouette against the giant monolith, and then over the shoulder shot looking at the glowing symbols. And I can also tell him how I want the light, how I want the mood in every single of the shot. And you can see here, divided each shot, and each shot matches perfectly what I requested in my prompt. This will not generate an image, but will roast my LinkedIn profile. I uploaded a screenshot of my homepage on LinkedIn, and I'm telling you, analyze this screenshot of my LinkedIn profile, give me one paragraph, explain me why I'm not getting hired, is my headline generic, is my banner low res, and the fix, rewrite also my headline to be more result oriented. So in this case, I didn't ask for an image, so we'll just analyze an image, take an image as an input, and then he does a paragraph of analysis. I don't want to read it because I'm very sensitive. And then he offers 2 fixes of improved banner. In this case, I like more mine, but those are still really good suggestions. And then he also gives me a recommendation on the visuals, which I should change. I can have NanoBanana act as an interior designer, take an empty picture of our living room before we actually put the furniture in it. And I tell him the style which I want for the furniture and the lighting which I want in the picture, right? So I'm telling you the tea velvet sofa, coffee table, geometric rug, a fiddle leaf fig plant, which I'm not sure what it is. This is the fig plant, and this is the features which I asked for. I actually really like it. I'm giving the same picture which we used before. I'm telling you, analyze this picture, generate a hand-drawn architectural isometric diagram blueprint of this house. And then I'm telling you the style which I want for the design. And you can see, even from that picture, which is only the side, it inferred the structure of the house with a better picture, it would do a better job. And then it respected everything which I asked for. NanoBanana Pro can also turn a whiteboard, it's a sketch on a whiteboard, into actual code. So I'm telling you, this is the logic which we want, which is something we had on our whiteboard. And I'm telling you, convert the logic flow into a structured bulleted list, write a Python script that implements the logic described in the flowchart. Documentation, write a brief summary of what the system does. Again, in this case, it won't output a picture because we didn't ask for it, but it described the logic first into 5 steps. And then he gave me the Python code to actually implement it, which I checked before and seemed to be actually correct. And here's the documentation. This is what I had for lunch. Let's see if NanoBanana can count the calories which are inside. So I give it a little prompt, list all the visible ingredients, provide an estimated calorie count and macronutrients breakdown. Again, not a picture output, identify protein visible, protein grilled octopus, bed of creamy mashed potatoes, correct, the garnishes, and then it estimates the nutritional breakdown. Total calorie, 600, 750. It seems about right. My dad has the worst handwriting ever. He brought his food recipe down for me. He's actually a really good cook. I asked him to transcribe this and read a note from the image and turn it into a task list. Right, so it turned the text into legible, finally, text, and then he also wrote down the recipe, translated both in Italian and English for me. Based on a single picture of a bookshelf, NanoBanana can tell you build a psychological profile of the reader, very cool, suggest 5 new books that are not on the shelf but would fit this person's taste perfectly, great for Christmas. So here, the shelf audit, it gives me what I'm into, and then it builds a profile about whoever the reader is, and then it builds a recommendation of actual books I could give them for Christmas, The Miniatures the Future, Super Intelligence by Nick Mostrom, and so on. You can send a picture of anything broken, be it something for work or my dishwasher in this case, which is actually broken. Identify this broken part from my dishwasher. What's the specific name of the component? Is it repairable? Do I need to buy a replacement? Provide a brief checklist how to swap it out safely. In this case, the answer would be a text answer. Upper spray arm is the name of that specific part. Fix, replacement is recommended. Guide how to swap it out, and then it lists all of the steps to swap it out. For those who don't have the green thumb, like myself for example, you can upload a picture of a plant, like this one which is dying in my room, and ask identify the brown spots yellow, is it roots, pest, sunburn, give me a step-by-step care to save the plant over the next 2 weeks. And then what it does is analyze the name of the plant. It found the name of the plant, it's an anthurium, I had no idea. And it does give me a diagnosis and prescription, immediate triage, hydration, monitor and placement, so it can save your plants. Can also be your personal stylist. I'm wearing these cargo beige pants, which I uploaded here in this picture. Suggest 3 different outfit combinations for a casual Friday office look. Very cool. I'd go for the first one probably, simplest. NanoBanana can also explain simple and hard concept visually, which I really like. So in this case, I'm telling you generate a graphic answer to the question, do banana skin float? So you can generate visual answer to any specific question which you have in mind. And then here I'm also telling you the style. For example, I want scientific textbook illustration, clean lines, and label water and skin. And we can see the results, the labels, the illustration style, do banana skin float? Yes, they are less dense than water, scientific explanation. Finally, getting to more creative stuff, create a 4x4 grid of images featuring the same character. In this case, it's a humanoid banana. I'm telling you the seam I want them to be placed in. So we can test for character consistency. And the result is actually very cool. So you can see the past, more recent past, and then the future. Very cool. You can also do caricature of almost anything. In this case, I'm taking the picture of me as a baby again, and I'm telling you to transform the upload photo into a 3D stylized character, Pixar or Disney style. Exaggerate the eyes slightly for cuteness, and so on. And let's see the results. This is the character of myself, very cute. If you're into architecture, you can literally generate a photorealistic image of any impossible building. In this case, I want stairs that go up and down endlessly in a loop, connecting gravity-defying platforms. And the material, white marble, and here is the results. You can visualize literally anything. You can also do all sorts of historical remix. For example, generate a realistic grainy black and white photograph from 1969. Subject, an astronaut playing saxophone on the surface of the moon. Earth is visible in the background. And you see, we just made history. You can hide messages inside picture. In this case, I'm asking for make a photo with a hidden word embedded into it, which is hard to see until you spot it. Use the word banana. In this case, here you go. Once you see it, you see it. Otherwise, hard to see. You can turn any emoji into a realistic version of it. In this case, I'm asking for a cinematic or a sci-fi style, and here's the results. But you could have any emoji and any style with it. This is the head exploding. These last workflows are some of my favorite. They're the coolest aesthetically, I think. And in this case, I'm asking to present a clear 25-degree top-down isometric miniature 3D cartoon scene of any city you want. In this case, I use Barcelona, and I want to use it to visualize weather. So I'm giving an exact style, and the output is a square version with the landmarks of the city with the temperature of today. You can create a 3D version of every landmark for every city, in this case, again, Barcelona, as if they were magnets. And here you can see all of the 3D magnets for Barcelona. Again, you can extract them and use them as icon in a presentation, for example, or just hang it on your fridge. Do you really want to see more?